In a surprise move, Oris released quite the showstopper, a watch they are calling the Big Crown ProPilot X. And again, I decided to write an article on this piece because it really caught my attention, and it is well worth investigating. It is 44mm in size, made from titanium with a fully skeletonized movement and a 10-day power reserve. And like the earlier release of the Omega Ultralight that I discussed just a week ago, our attention could not be drawn away from the price of the watch. And though I never like discussing prices on the page because it can sway opinions easily, the primary discussion in the comments on the video focused not so much on the design of the watch, but the ludicrous price it was going for. So the ProPilot X, a fully titanium watch, skeletonized movement, 10-day power reserve, we've heard this before. It looks like another one of those sub-$50,000 watches, right? Surely? No. It'll actually retail in the ballpark of $6,000, and that is insanely impressive. So let's get into the design of this behemoth. It has been said that the process of creating this watch has taken half a decade, and I can agree with that. There is a lot of attention to detail here. A fully satin titanium case and bracelet always looks the business. You can never go wrong with it. The desired effect of creating an understated watch with this finish works every time. And for a watch that measures 44mm, mixing a non-reflective finish with a large size brings its visual presence down greatly. It also gives the watch an added sport aesthetic. The actual design of the case is eerily reminiscent of German-inspired case designs, but we can also see touches of Oris motifs in there as well. But here's the kicker, the way the bracelet integrates with the case. The uniformity of the end link that pairs with the sharpness of the lugs is masterful. There is no other way to put it. This watch looks to be a piece that has been translated directly from the page. Take some time to look at the end links and see how they have been shaped, with 7 different facets. Extremely technical, yes. Difficult to achieve and expensive to do, yes, but so worth it in the big picture. How it then seamlessly translates and pairs with the links of the bracelet, or the outer links using diagonal lines, bravo. This is an exceptional approach. And the big reveal. Turning the watch around, we are greeted with an exceptional piece of machinery. No, not the movement, not yet. The clasp. A small tab that says lift on it. And why is it fantastic visual storytelling? Well, it resembles the buckle of an airplane seatbelt. Some may say it's too on the nose, if you can see the resemblance, but I think it is fantastic storytelling. Again, the facets on the many different surfaces. This following through with the design and this uniformity should not go unnoticed. Now we return to the face of the watch. The bezel is inspired by a turbine. That's a nice touch. The crown adopts a very Richard Mille-esque bullion difference. And now we can observe the dial in more detail. The skeletonizing on a dial is difficult to do. Not just the process, but the result is difficult to achieve correctly. What needs to be thought about is how to keep the watch legible without the eye losing track and falling prey to the technicalities behind it. What has been done intelligently here is the placement of the sub-seconds dial and the large power reserve indicator. They are by no means loud and visually heavy, so the eye is not drawn to them, but they're also in such a position that lets them stay in the background unless needed. The use of greys and charcoals also helps break up the visual weight of the bridges that intersect. And as we can see, the use of white on the dial implies the function. It is the easiest color to see and makes for easy viewing. The size of the hour and the minute hands makes seeing the time at a glance very easy, which is something that is often neglected with skeletonized pieces. There is a very nice detail seeing the oversized mainspring, and odds are you will be able to see the small clutches and ratchets operating when the watch is being wound. And returning to the rear of the watch again, what I really admire is the sheer size of the glass used on the caseback, allowing for you to see the movement entirely. Just a small detail like this makes the watch seem almost borderless, and what an utterly gorgeous layout. As the watch is being wound, you will be able to see the large cog winding up the mainspring, and then you have a nicely exposed balance wheel at the base. It truly is stunning. So much thought has been put into this piece. So on face value, we see a watch that shows a clear amount of congruence between its parts, an excellent choice of finishing, a clear and precise amount of thinking to where all the movement components are situated. This piece is an echelon way above its competition. But what's an article without a few critiques? What came to my mind immediately after seeing it and reading its name, Big Crown ProPilot, I would never have guessed that this piece represented a pilot's watch. It just doesn't have the hallmarks I would affiliate to such a piece. When I think Pilot watch, I think bold, which is what this watch is, but more importantly, legible. My first initial gripe is towards the dial. What is a pilot's watch supposed to be? An instrument. Is this watch an instrument? Absolutely. But what I would have liked to have seen is the watch providing more emphasis with its indices. Possibly rounded plots instead of rectangles, but in any case making them slightly larger for the sake of quicker readability. Next, the crown guard. The crown is finished impeccably, but the crown guard doesn't fit with the gorgeous aesthetic of the case and the bracelet, at least in my eyes. If the crown guard grew out of the case more gradually, the result seems to have a less harsh effect on the eye, providing a near seamless join. And finally, one feature that I truly admire of the Anlango-Nzona datograph Lumen is the way that the dial is separated from the movement by a transparent backing. Perhaps a minor transparent glass might make the dial all the more legible. The hands are above the glass, and the subdial printing can be on the glass, making for a clear and precise reading experience, all the while not sacrificing the skeletonized aspect. Here is a sample of the two watches side by side. Round plots, transparent dial, and a more integrated crown guard. As a package, Oris has managed to create a watch that both appears but also performs unlike other watches in its price bracket. As a design, it is unique. It manages to be highly complicated but remains subtle thanks to the choice of finishing and machining to its many surfaces. So many aspects need to be emphasized. The case and bracelet pairing, the clever on-the-nose clasp integration, the balance of the components on the dial, and of course the gorgeous movement. This proves that we are stepping into an age where a concept can be taken and translated from the page into something physical without shortcuts. That is what makes the world of design for manufacture infinitely more fascinating and opens new realms of creative opportunities for the future.